Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Adventures of one obsessed nutrition coach on a mission to create a world where food makes you better. Today is Saturday. Yesterday we actually skipped an episode and instead we're doing it today. Why did we skip an episode? I was actually applying for a speakers contest. If you don't know that yet, this year and many years after this year, I plan to speak much more. And so a good place to start is start applying to some speakers contest. So you get exposure, other people see you, you get better at speaking. And why speaking? Because if you have any idea that you'd like to spread in the world, guys, that you need to learn how to present it, how to speak about it, and not just say it so you understand it, but say it in a way so other people understand it and get excited about it and want to join your mission, your journey, whatever that might be. So speaking, presenting, it's a crucial skill in this century, and it's just going to be much more important in this world where we have so much information, where we have so much noise. Like, if you know how to present your information, how to communicate to get people excited about what you're saying, man, you can advance your journey, and it doesn't matter what you do, so much faster and so much more effectively. And very few people can actually communicate in a way so other people understand them and get excited about their ideas and want to do something about it. So it's a skill worth working on. So again, if you want to change something in this world, it's probably a good idea to invest some of your time and some of your energy into building a skill of communication, of speaking. And so that's what I was doing yesterday, applying for one of the speakers contest, and fingers crossed, soon you're gonna hear more about it as I progress to another round of the contest. So, but that's, just a bit of my daily life, my daily adventures. Today, we are answering some questions that I get a lot. It's actually one question, one topic that I get from my clients and from people who ask me questions, everywhere. So the question is, how do we lose fat and preserve muscle or even build muscles? And sometimes guys ask me that, sometimes girls ask me that, and male and female physiology, when it comes to losing fat and preserving and building muscle, it's quite different. In any case, if you want to lose fat, if you want to preserve and build muscles, of course you need to focus on two areas: training and protein. Of course, the whole nutrition aspect is important. It's not just protein, it's also essential fats, it's also in some cases carbohydrates, depending on what kind of diet or eating you're on, what you're optimizing for. But training and protein, those are things that you need to get right. Like, you really need to get them right if you want to lose fat, preserving maximum amount of lean body mass, especially for females. Girls, we don't have that testosterone. We don't have a lot of other hormones that make it a little bit easier for guys to build and preserve lean body mass. And so we specifically need to focus on protein, but it doesn't come natural to us. A lot of times, especially as the beginner, you would have to kind of even force yourself eating more protein if you want to be a leaner and a little bit more toned and a little bit more muscular in a feminine way than the average woman. Let's just say that our female physiology, it is designed that way, so we carry more fat, for the purpose of childbirth and probably other purposes. But anyhow, naturally, females would carry more fat, more body fat on their body. Some of that fat is essential and you will never lose it, but some of that fat you can effectively lose to look toned and muscly in a feminine way. But in any case, if you want to be again leaner than an average female, you want to really focus on that protein. You need to make sure that you are getting at least, I'm talking about now about females who lift weights, who train, who want to maintain a good amount of lean body mass. So you need to be eating somewhere around 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight, or 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So for example, I'm somewhere around 122 pounds or 55 kilos, and I eat somewhere around 130 grams of protein every day. And what you want to understand is that if you're on a vegan or vegetarian diet and trying to get a lot of your protein from plant foods, then you probably want to hit even more, because plant protein, like, you can get enough of it, especially if you supplement, but understand that if you get your plant protein from whole foods, it is bound to fiber that makes it less accessible for the body. Plus, plant proteins have different amino acid profile. They're not as complete, they're not as easily absorbable and digestible, and they're not as stimulating to muscle growth, muscle building, muscle retention as animal protein. So you need to keep that in mind as a female. As a guy, you still need to eat your protein, but usually guys don't have many problems eating that protein, even though in Asia they do. But you also want to keep that in mind. If you want to eat more plant-based, understand that plant protein, again, you need to eat more of that, and most probably you will have to supplement. When it comes to, if you eat animal products, in most cases there is no need to supplement unless you're trying to build really a lot of muscle, like you want to compete as a bodybuilder. Then you will have to supplement in any case, because that amount of food and protein is just not doable in whole foods for most people. You're just going to overload your digestive tract. But back to training and protein. So now you understand that protein is important, and if you're a female, you might not be eating enough. To give you a better idea, let's say you are someone like me. By the way, guys and girls, the amount of protein, it doesn't just depend on your body weight, because we are built differently. Usually the taller you are, the more protein you will need. So for example, for someone like me who is 165 centimeters height, I eat that amount of protein. If you're someone taller, then you will need more protein in most cases. And especially if you are in a caloric deficit, and the more calories you are under eating, the more protein you will need to maintain your lean body mass, because when you lose weight, your body will try to lose your muscle mass, because that is an active tissue, meaning the tissue requires calories when you do nothing. So if your body is sensing that you're losing weight and you're not getting enough energy, well, you're trying to do that, right? So to preserve that lean body mass that also eats calories when you do nothing, you need to stimulate it with training and protein to preserve the most of it. So if you're not training also, guys, and you're cutting calories and you're trying to preserve lean body mass, it's not going to happen also. You need to hit it both ways. You need to stimulate your lean body mass, your muscles, with training, with lifting weights, not cardio, but lifting weights, or at least lifting your body weight if you do body weight kind of training. But usually, especially for females, you would need to use weights besides your body weight, because for a lot of muscles it's hard to hit them with just your body weight. So a lot of things, I know, but let's refocus. So you're trying to lose fat, maintaining lean body mass. You need to focus on training, especially in a caloric deficit, guys. In any case, you will need to train to maintain lean body mass, and it will give you a lot of health benefits now and later in life, right? So lean body mass is it's a very precious tissue that in any case you need to work on. So you need to focus on weight training, and depending on what your goals are, I would recommend to hit weights at least 2 times a week, like lower body, upper body. Do at least that. And you don't have to train, for an hour. Like 30 minutes with warm up and cool down is enough if you want to maintain it. If you want to build muscle mass, then probably it's not enough in most cases. So you want to focus on training if you want to lose fat, maintaining lean body mass, and also building muscles. And doing weight training will help you to maintain that weight. That's why usually people who train regularly, they maintain their weight much easier, and they don't bounce back to putting on weight. Train regularly. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it has to be regular and consistent. So weight training for fat loss and maintaining lean body mass. And then protein. You need to eat your protein, especially again in a caloric deficit. You need to train and you need to eat enough protein, and a lot of times even more than enough protein, because when cutting calories, your body will try to cut your muscle mass, because again, your muscle mass eats calories too. And so from perspective of your body, it's when energy is in deficit, it's better to destroy your muscles and preserve more fat, because fat is energy and it doesn't eat any additional energy. And your body will try to make you lose muscles, but you can prevent that more or less by training and by eating more protein. And protein protein activates mechanisms in our body that gives a signal to maintain that lean body mass. So again, 2 aspects, training and protein. To calculate your protein needs, again, get back to your height, understand that the taller you are, and also guys usually need also more, because you do usually have more muscle mass. But anyhow, it depends on your weight, it depends on your height. I would go for 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, or 2 grams of protein per 1 kilogram of body weight. I would stay there and see the results, start tracking results and see where your body is going. That's another thing that a lot of people are not doing. If you do something and the results you're seeing, they're not what you want to see, then change what you do and you're going to change what you see. It should be kind of intuitive, but sometimes we just get distracted, life and everything happens and we forget to do that. That's why a lot of times it's helpful to have an accountability coach, or just someone who checks on you once in a while, or maybe have some sort of reminder on your phone that every 2 weeks maybe check on your body weight and your body fat percentage and see where it's going. So again, losing fat, maintaining muscle mass, you gotta focus on training and on protein. A little bit of protein information. Like how much protein do you usually get in foods? I will focus specifically on animal foods, because plant foods, they vary a lot in the amount of protein, and that protein, the quality of it is highly questionable. And it's just gonna take another hour of talking about plant protein to give you, some sort of comprehensive guide. So always, check, but also keep in mind then plant protein, again, because of the fiber and because of the nature of it, it's just less efficient. So animal protein, like how much protein do you get from foods? So when I say 30 grams of protein, for example, when it comes to animal foods, let's say something like lean pork or lean beef, more or less, because of course the fatter it is, the less protein you're going to get, the more fat you're going to get. So per 100 grams, or somewhere around 3-4 ounces, closer to 3 ounces, you're going to get 30 grams of protein. So 100 grams of actual food will give you somewhere around 30 grams of protein. And I'm talking about foods like beef, like pork, like chicken, like tuna, and other non-fatty fish. And don't forget, guys, that the more fat the food has, the less protein it has. So if we take 100 grams of sardines, for example, that is fatty fish, it has more fat than tuna, then you're not getting 30 grams of protein, but more close to 20 grams of protein. So you want to understand that if you're trying to hit certain amount of protein without necessarily, weighing all of your foods and putting it in some macronutrient calculator. So fish that doesn't have a lot of fat will give you per 100 grams somewhere around 30 grams of protein. That also goes to lean cuts of beef, of pork, of chicken. When it comes to eggs, one whole egg will give you on average, depending on the size of course, but on average 6 grams of protein. I'm talking about egg white and egg yolk. And 1 cup of yogurt, by the way, guys, they say, Greek yogurt is a great source of protein, but 200 grams of that yogurt will give you only about 11-12 grams of protein. So in order to hit your 30 grams, for example, per meal or per portion, you need to eat like 600 grams of Greek yogurt to give a good amount of protein in one meal. So 6 grams, and plus you're gonna get quite a lot of fat most probably. So it's like a lot of calories and a lot of food, so not that protein efficient actually. So that's why I personally stick to meat, to fish, to fatty fish, to eggs, because those are the most efficient sources of protein, meaning per calorie, per volume of food, they deliver the most amount of protein. Especially things like tuna, it's like almost all protein, but also has some important vitamins actually. So to recap, if you want to be lean, if you want to preserve and build lean muscle mass, you gotta train with weights at least 2 times a week, and you gotta focus on protein. You gotta make sure that you get enough. And girls, especially we females, we need to get this right. If you want to be leaner than an average female, you gotta eat more protein, and of course you gotta train consistently, that without a question. If you're a guy, you can't skip your protein either, but usually because of your hormones, it's gonna be a little bit easier for you to maintain that muscle mass without necessarily that much protein. That's it, guys. If you have any questions about those, tiny details about muscle building and fat loss, hit me up on Instagram, on Twitter, my email, so anywhere you can find and reach me, ask your question, because if you have a goal, those details that you won't read necessarily in every other article on the internet, those details matter. And also what matters is your personal health and fitness levels and your personal height, personal weight, how your digestive system works. All of this matters. So, but first you gotta get the basics right. Training, protein, and of course focus on sleep, focus on health, focus on overall balanced meal plan. All these things matter too, but training and protein specifically for that goal of building muscles and losing fat, they're hugely important. So this is it for today. I'm gonna let you go to enjoy your weekend and hopefully at the same time finding time to train and to eat right and to maybe do more research on protein. If you have any questions, reach out anytime, any day. I always love talking about nutrition, fat loss, and muscle building. That's just what I do. I just was finishing a meal plan for a client of mine and was looking up foods and their nutrients, and I just realized I love it so much, just learning which nutrients each food has and how you can use it to optimize your energy levels, how you look, how you perform, how you feel. This is just fascinating for me. So I love doing that. But anyhow, enjoy your weekend, train, eat your protein, and as usual, till next time, eat better daily.